Whoa, that was something else. Bonbon, how do you feel about doing Oblivion?
Absolutely awful.
Great! That's what we love to hear. I take back what I said about the B&M Hypercoaster. That was absolute monster. This is the most perfect place in the world.
Good morning, afternoon, evening. Welcome back to the Coasterhead, and today we are talking about Epic Universe. Because I finally got to experience Universal's new park, and it was the most beautiful thing. So today we're discussing Epic Universe, Universal Orlando's newest gate. While I will mention queue time trends when discussing these rides, I will not be letting the queue times affect my ranking of the ride itself. Anyway, I went to Universal on 2 occasions for Epic Universe. I went one day. I mean, I enjoyed it so much I went back another day just to explore. Like, the first day was all about getting as many good rides as I can do done. The second day, I did some rides, I did a lot of exploring, I tried a lot of different foods and drinks, I met characters, you know, I wanted to explore more. This script was mostly written after the first visit, so you know, fresh opinions on fresh rides. First of all, let's just kick off our rankings of the 11 attractions in the park by starting with a tie for 9th, 10th and 11th place, between Dragon Racer Rally, Fire Drill, and Constellation Carousel. Constellation Carousel. There's no H in Carousel. I can only fit so much into one day, and some rides simply couldn't make the cut. I'm rather adverse to getting excessively soaked, so Fire Drill was just never in the cards and was always going to be last place. While Constellation Carousel had its times at short queues, it never felt worthwhile. It's a carousel. It's Carousel. Dragon Racer Rally, you know, a little bit more interesting, but it had frequent queues of close to an hour and it seemed a pretty mild experience. It was easy enough to pass on. So let's get into the 8 different rides that I did do on my first day visit. Yeah, this is all based off of my first day visit. In 8th place, Yoshi Adventure. It shouldn't come as a surprise that the park's People Mover ranks low. But that's not to say that Yoshi isn't a fun time. It offers a great view over the beautiful Super Nintendo World. I love Super Nintendo World. It's my favourite theme park land in the world right now. And it showed scenes from the games that Yoshi has starred in. You know, Yoshi's Island, New Super Mario Bros. Series, you know, all that. It's a cute ride for families and fans, and for a break from the throws. 7th place, Curse of the Werewolf. A common complaint about this attraction is its duration, and that definitely played a factor here. The spinning coaster is very smooth, it's slick, it's fun, but oh my god, it's short. It is incredibly short. The theming during the coaster is minimal for the most part, save for one barn with the werewolf within. While it may be a very cookie-cutter spinning coaster, it's still a very satisfying experience. In 6th place, Minecart Madness. Another roller coaster that's on the shorter side, which really stings because, you know, it stings badly. I queued 110 minutes for this, and the queues were consistently 90 minutes or higher. The lowest the queue was the entire day was 95, and that's what it said when I entered the queue, and as I said, I waited 110 because there was delays. But yes, you know, it stings that this was a shorter ride, but Minecart Madness dares to do something new! It earns its spot above Curse of the Werewolf. This roller coaster uses brand new technology to create the illusion of jumping over broken track. However, the ride feels somewhat lacking between its dark ride scenes that feel cheaper compared to the lengths they went to on my other animatronics in the park. I would love to have the animatronics with more fluid motion. And then the fact that the ride seems to already be quite rough. I'm not sure if that was an intentional design choice, but this is far from perfect. But it deserves a higher spot than previous rides for offering something completely unique. And you know, it's a lovely aura ride. It's got nice aura, it's got good aesthetic. This, you know, it's definitely a family coaster, right? It's not everything I dreamed it would be, but I do love that it's doing something brand new. I want to see this technology implemented more in future to create bigger, better things. And you know, something bigger and better will come along, and then we'll say, well, Minecart Madness isn't that good, is it, in comparison? But Minecart Madness is the original jumping the track roller coaster. And, you know, big respect for that, big props to that. You always need those groundbreakers, and I love the fact that it's a groundbreaker. In 5th place, Hiccup's Wing Gliders. Rounding out the trio of family roller coasters is Hiccup's Wing Gliders. It was once described to me as sort of a mini Hagrid's. I cannot believe that out of the 3 kind of family coasters, this was my favourite one. This was the one I had probably the least hype for. I probably would have gone Minecart, Curse, Hiccup. Especially based off of like the preview center's like recreations of the models of the rides. But the ride is incredibly smooth and it has really cool launches and bank turns. It flies around the entire Isle of Berk. It interacts with every structure and has a few surprises too. This attraction feels longer than the previous 2, which works in its favour. Another park goer actually described this attraction to me as a Slinky Dog Dash on steroids. That tracks. Good stuff. In number 4, Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. So despite queues of up to 3 hours, Battle of the Ministry is yet another technological groundbreaker. It combines the ride systems of Spider-Man and Transformers with the kind of Tower of Terror elevator vehicles. The ride moves in all directions, X, Y, and Z axis. The screens are of an exceptional quality. We're talking akin to the Bourne Stuntacular kind of stuff, and if you saw my video ranking everything at Universal a couple of years ago, I raved about the Bourne screens. Like, you know, they are good screens. You know, the animatronics were moved so fluidly as well that they seemed real. I've never been like a mega fan of Harry Potter, but the rides that Universal makes for the franchise are always exceptional. And this is certainly the peak of the Harry Potter Dark Ride saga. Oh, and the queue system, wow. Going through that, the Floo system and then emerging in the massive Ministry set, that was insane. I mean, not quite Rise of the Resistance, but it was still insane. In 3rd place, Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. I will admit that this started out in 4th place after day 1, but the one change I made on day 2 of visiting was I bumped this above Harry Potter. Having done Harry Potter again on day 2 once more, and Mario Kart twice more on day 2, I made this conclusion. Mario Kart, for me, dream come true, and sure enough the ride was amazing. The queue had so much to look at, which was a huge improvement over Minecart, which had a very empty queue. And this really helped the time pass a little quicker. It still felt slow, but it was a little quicker. Reaching the ride itself and seeing the standard cart drive up to the load station was just an insane visual, honestly. The ride uses a mix of practical sets and augmented reality, AR, to create both the visuals of the race and to add in the characters from the game. Using AR, you can throw shells at Team Bowser to gain coins. Steering correctly leads to coins as well. You're a winner if you get over 100 coins. The AR makes the ride simultaneously better and worse. By blurring the lines between what is real and what is not, you're not able to truly appreciate the effort that has gone into the practical sets here. You can't always tell what's real, and what is real is very impressive. There was one point on my first ride through where we did stop moving, and so I had more time to just look around at the sets, and the sets are nice. However, the AR boosts re-rideability by creating this competitive game to play against your family and everyone on the leaderboard. Especially if you have the power-up band too. The AR also manages to distract you from how slow the ride vehicle is, because oh wow, it moves very slowly. It's not fast in the slightest. I think it moves even slower than the Men in Black vehicles. The ride's far from perfect, but it's an amazing innovation to blend Dark Ride with augmented reality to create basically a new breed of shooting game. You know, I always love to see theme parks coming in with new technology, groundbreaking stuff. If you keep giving me the same thing over and over, there's only so many new, updated screens and different themes that you can do until it just starts to feel a bit stale. We've been there with the motion simulator thing, especially in the studios part. So it's really nice to see theme parks come up with brand new technology and to give us something completely different. In 2nd place, Stardust Races. If you want airtime, this thing's going to give you airtime in spades. Stardust Races is a relentless force that launches you intensely into its top hats, airtime hills, and that unique celestial spin thingamajig. A night ride on this thing. Next level. Back row, especially on the green side at night, incredibly intense, very forceful. Now the ride features very little theming, which to be fair, it doesn't require as a necessity. But it certainly sets the ride back a little bit, especially compared to like Velocicoaster. When we throw it into the conversation on whether it beats Velocicoaster or not, theming is a bit of a deciding factor. That and Velocicoaster has more inversions. I'm more of an inversion guy than an airtime guy. If you love airtime, you'll love Stardust Races. Nonetheless, it's an outstanding attraction. It's a must-do on any trip to Epic Universe. And number 1. Monsters Unchained, The Frankenstein Experiment. I didn't expect that my favorite attraction at Epic Universe was going to be Forbidden Journey 2.0, but that's what happened when I walked out of Epic Universe on day 1. It was so good I had to ride it 3 times on day 1 of being there. It was additional queue bonus. The queue was 25 minutes or below all day. I queued like... It said 25, but we queued 15 on my first run through, and the other 2 were walk-on. It was really quiet. This thing is a capacity machine. Like, this thing makes up for the bad it's compensating for the bad capacity of Minecart and Mario Kart. But, you know, it was so amazing. I just had to keep going on it, because it was just unbelievable. It's set within this awesome facade of this giant gothic castle, and you board a bench on a robotic arm like Forbidden Journey, and then you meet Victoria Frankenstein, and she reveals her plan to attempt to control Dracula. But this fails, and Dracula is unleashed, and he unleashes all the monsters from captivity. The first thing to blow you away is the incredibly fluid and lifelike animatronic of the Phantom of the Opera playing the organ as flames fly out of it. That was stunning. That blew my mind. When I saw that animatronic, I knew this was going to be some next level stuff. Genuinely one of the most amazing things I've seen in a theme park. That's probably my favorite animatronic in general at theme parks. You say before that the King Kong was really cool. Even compared to the animatronics at Horror Nights with Freddy's, you know, some of those are really cool. But nothing compares to the Phantom of the Opera. How fluid he was playing the organ, turning towards you and reaching out at you. It was unbelievable. So after this, you know, but this is when I realized it was going to be a peak attraction. And yeah, it got better. It got better. The screens here, born quality. Born stuntacular quality screens. And often you couldn't even tell what was a screen and what was an animatronic. It was that hard to tell. It's not like with Mario Kart where AR and practical set blur the lines between reality. This is different. The screens are so lifelike, and the animatronics are so lifelike that it all seems real, and it's for the better in this case. There are some really cool jump scares in this thing. There's a really cool jump scare with like an unexpected creature of the Black Lagoon, a wolf man that lunges over to grab at you, a giant mummy with snakes hanging from the ceiling was insane, and then Dracula himself at the end flies down from above to attack you. Oh man, this attraction is phenomenal in its technology and immersion, and it just cannot be missed. The most unreal thing I have experienced. Like, it was just absolutely unbelievable. I couldn't believe it when I got off the ride. We did the second, right after the kind. It was almost a letdown, Minecart Madness, queuing that long for that ride. And I know that kind of marred the experience a little bit definitely for my dad. He did not enjoy the queue very much. But Monsters made up for that with its 15-minute queue where we never really had to stop except for just at the lockers to put stuff away. Other than that, it was very much just walking constantly. It was just the technology, the animatronics, the plot. I mean, the plot is the basic kind of something goes horribly wrong and it becomes all-out chaos that a lot of rides have. But I really enjoyed this plot of Victoria trying to control Dracula and the way it interweaves all of the different classic monsters It gives all of them their own sort of segments to shine. Wolfman gets a really good segment. The Mummy gets a segment. You know, even just ones that get one scene, like the Creature of the Black Lagoon, the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Near the start, you look up at this bell, and the Hunchback is inside the bell. Even these characters that only get like one scene, they're so memorable that they leave their impression. Phantom of the Opera again. Oh man, unbelievable. And because I went on it 3 times on that day, and I went on it twice on the second day, I have, between those, managed to see all of the animatronics in action. On the second day, only one animatronic wasn't working, but that animatronic was working on the first day. So I have seen all the animatronics. Oh, Monsters Unchained is the best dark ride in the world. #1 dark ride for me. Unbelievable. Jeez, that's how good it was. It's killing me. If you were gonna do any ride at Epic Universe, if you could only do one ride, unless you're like a ridiculously big fan of one of the other franchises, if you don't have any like pre-planned, this is what I want to do, make Monsters Unchained the top of your to-do list. I like classic monsters. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but I like it. I think it's really cool. This is like unbelievable stuff though. And the thing is, the ride is genuinely scary as well the first time around. Like, these jump scares are unreal. Like, it's not like, oh, Revenge of the Mummy and just some mummies rise up at the side of a stationery. They don't even have their swords anymore. It's not like a 3D one where they jump at you in the 3D and it's like, ugh. It's not, dare I say, almost corny like some of the ones in like Haunted Mansion in Disney or whatever. These jump scares are genuinely frightening the first time. I think the one that got me the most the first time was the Creature of the Black Lagoon, because I just did not expect that at all. I didn't know this monster was in the attraction. There was no build up to this monster, and so when it came out of nowhere, wow, scary. And because you're on a bench, everybody is front row. Everybody sees everything. It's just, I could go on for ages about how this is the best dark ride in the world. Please, please go on it. And even if the ride is busy, because when I went the second day, it did have a queue of 45 minutes at one point. The single rider queue was still a walk-on when the main queue was 45 minutes. So if you need to, split up and go in the single rider queue. Don't miss out on Monsters Unchained. Genuinely peak. I could go on it so many times. I was so blown away. I mean, what blew me away most at Epic Universe was Super Nintendo World as a whole. Not necessarily the attractions, but the area as a whole. And Monsters Unchained. Oh man, so good. Anyway, thanks for watching my video ranking the rides of Epic Universe that I got to experience. I will probably try and integrate these to make a ranking video of all of Universal's attractions at some point. I might wait until I've done the other 3 rides at Epic, and then maybe when Rip Ride Rocket's replacement comes out, I can ride that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below what your favourite ride at Epic Universe is, and if there's anything else theme park-wise you want me to discuss. See you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!